heavy blue.
So to start off, we're going to take the Maybelline Master Primer in the green one. This one's supposed to help with the redness. I guess green cancels out red. So I just put it on my chin, nose, cheeks, and a little bit on my forehead, because in the morning or throughout the day, that's typically where I tend to get a little bit more red throughout my skin. So I just blend that all in, make sure everything is nice and smooth and I don't have any clumps on the skin. We want to have a nice even canvas before we paint this face. Next, taking the Fit Me Maybelline Concealer, putting that on my eyelids to prime, making sure the eyeshadow that I pack on today does not move, smear, budge, wiggle, or anything. And then I'm going to blend it out with my Morphe brush. I really like using this one just because it's very dense, so it doesn't pick up the as much product as a beauty blender would. So I just go ahead and buff that in and then set it with some powder to make sure it doesn't move. Going into the Subculture palette, picking up this shade here, using that to blend into my transition color. And I'm just using this as a light base first for all the colors that are going to pack on during this look, making sure that I go from outer corner to inner corner and I don't miss a spot and it doesn't look patchy. Baymax, can you calm down, please? Jumping into this yellow shade, I believe it's called Edge, on a more fluffier Morphe brush and blending this into the crease. Again, going back and forth, windshield wiper motions. For this color, I did have to build it up quite a bit just because it wasn't showing as well as I wanted it to. So I just go back and forth, applying it into the crease, going back into the palette, applying a little bit more at a time, just little by little. I keep going until I get the desired yellow look that I'm going for. The next palette is the Dream Street by ColourPop and Kathleen Lights, and I take this red shade in here, I believe it's called Potion, and taking it more on a more precise fluffy brush and just blending that into the crease as well. Not going as high as the yellow shade was, but taking it a little bit lower, still within the crease, just so that it doesn't take away from the yellow color that we applied, but you can definitely still see the red that is going on. And again, I just work back and forth until I get the color that I'm going for and making sure that the red also doesn't get lost within the yellow. Going back into the Subculture palette, picking up the yellow shade again and just blending that as well, going back and forth, making sure that everything is nice and smooth and all the colors are very noticeable. Next, taking the Take Me Back to Brazil by BH Cosmetics, dipping into this red shade here and deepening up the red. The ColourPop shade was a good base, but I just wanted the red to be a little bit more noticeable, and I decided to go in with this red from the BH Cosmetics palette and going back and forth, making sure everything blends nicely. When you add colors on top of colors, just make sure it's not patchy and there isn't any definitive lines. You want it all to look very smooth. And then just, again, blending everything out with my Morphe brush. Jumping in with this color right here and focusing it on the outer corner of the eye. And I really just take this color little by little, begin to blend it out, but really just focus it on the corner, on the outer V of your eye. Take little by little because it is a dark color, so you can definitely add more than going in with a heavy hand and it's harder to fix. So little by little, blend it out, grab some more, blend it out until you get the desired color that you're looking for and the depth that you want on your outer eyes. The next color is going to be this gorgeous blue metallic color in the Dream Street palette. And just, can you see this color? I mean, honestly, this is my favorite color in the whole entire palette. The palette's great. I use it almost every day, but this color just speaks to me. It really does. It just talks to me on another level. But I didn't wet the brush. I just went in with it dry and then just packed it on until I got the color that I'm going for. Then taking the red shade again, because I feel like it got a little bit lost with the blue, just making sure that I blend it out nice and evenly and add a little bit more color in there so you can definitely see the red and it's not just the blue eyeshadow taking over. So now the eyebrows are on and the lashes are on and we are ready to start the face. Before I do the face, I do add a little bit of yellow eyeliner, and here it is. Just added a little bit of pop of color. Looks really nice. I was kind of hesitant, but it turned out very well. So for foundation, I'm taking the CoverGirl Healthy Elixir foundation, and I believe I'm in the shade 725. And I'm taking on my Morphe Y6 brush. I have been loving applying foundation with this brush. It doesn't leave my foundation streaky. It doesn't, soak up that much product like a beauty blender would. So it definitely is a great foundation brush. I highly recommend you adding it to your collection. And for concealer, nothing has changed here. The Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Light Sand, just to highlight underneath the eyes, my chin, my forehead. And I just blend this out with a beauty blender and I spray it with a little bit of the Milani Make It Last Forever setting spray and just begin to blend that underneath the eyes, being really gentle because you are underneath your eyelids or your eyes, and that's kind of a sensitive skin. But for setting the powder, I'm going to take the Wet n Wild banana looking little powder in there on my Morphe brush and just set everywhere I put concealer. And then for the rest of my face, I do take my CoverGirl loose setting powder on my Morphe powder brush. I think this is the E6, and just making sure that my foundation does not transfer throughout the day. And I do take the brown shade in the Wet n Wild palette and just do a little bit of contouring, not too much, and finish off the face with some bronzer. And of course, my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer never fails me. And just adding some color in the skin, on my forehead, temples, and by my contour area. That way, just don't look pale. I have some color in me, and it looks very nice. For highlight, I'm taking the Morphe and Bretman Rock Highlight Palette, and I'm going in with that shade right there. I think it's called Get Laid or something like that. But I absolutely love this palette. The highlight shades in here are great. They are blinding. You just pack them on and bitch. So good. Dipping into that red shade for the under eyes and just going with the one color here because I didn't want to take away from the upper eye. Taking the white shade in the Bretman Rock Morphe palette and highlighting the inner corner. And this was just a subtle little highlight. I didn't want to do anything too crazy. Popping on some Bobbi Brown lip gloss that I got from my cousin. Shout out to my cousin for giving this to me because it's absolutely amazing. And then to make sure my foundation doesn't run all over the place, I'm setting it with the Milani Make It Last setting spray. Absolutely love this one. For eyeliner, going in with the green from Morphe. And that is it for today's video, guys. I really hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!